Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Pablo, and welcome back to GG Sports. I'm bringing you guys another episode of the New Orleans Pelicans realistic rebuild here in NBA 2K19. And in this episode, we are playing against the Chicago Bulls, who did re-sign Derrick Rose. They still have Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and a bunch of other good players. But before we get into the game, I want to remind you guys to leave a like and subscribe and hit that bell icon while you're at it to stay notified every time I drop another one of these episodes. But before we get into the game, we're going to take a look at how the Pelicans are doing right now since the last episode. As you know, we took an L to the Dallas Mavericks in that episode. Porzingis went off, dropped 35 on us, and then after that, the Pelicans really took off. They went on to win 4 straight. They got a W versus the Kings, the Warriors. A couple of these games I played, but right now we're 9-2, and we got some good W's, including 2 wins versus the Warriors. We just beat the Bulls about a week ago, so there'll be some familiarity there. And then we're coming off of an overtime victory versus the Houston Rockets, so this is huge for our momentum. Harden did drop 45 on us though, but the next highest scorer was Chris Paul, who only dropped 14. And then on our side, Jason Tatum continued his very hot start to the season. 28.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, but only 9 for 28 shooting. So kind of played a game like James Harden, but Bol was our next best scorer at 11, but we did have a couple of guys there in double digits. So we're going to take a quick look at the Chicago Bulls roster before we get into the gameplay. And like I said before, Derrick Rose has returned to Chicago. That is one of their main additions. Zach LaVine is still there. They signed Rodney Hood to come off of the bench. They still have Otto Porter, but he is hurt, so he won't be playing in this game. They're going to start Denzel Valentine, so that's definitely an advantage for the Pelicans. And then they still have Lauri Markkanen. They signed Jonas Jerebko to back him up, and then they're starting Wendell Carter Jr. at the center spot. So this is a team that hasn't put it together this season. As you see, their record right now is 2-11, and we're 9-2, surging on the season so far. This is a really good start to the Pelicans season, and they need these sorts of starts if you want to make the playoffs in the Western Conference. You really can't start slow, and this is a better start than the Pelicans really could have hoped for. I mean, Zion is still adjusting. He doesn't contribute on a high level every night through simulation, but this team definitely has enough talent and enough depth to where they don't need Zion to score 20 plus points every night. They still have Drew Holiday, Darius Garland, then of course Jason Tatum shouldering the load right now for the Pelicans, and got them off to a pretty good start. He's leading the team. He said he was ready last season to be the face of a franchise, and here he is in New Orleans taking full advantage of the opportunity. But we have tipped off here in the Smoothie King Center. Zion Williamson grabs the board, is running the break, and gets a dime to Jason Tatum. We score first in this game, and I'm excited to see how Derrick Rose does in this one. He's wearing number 1. I'll be having flashbacks of his MVP season. Hopefully we can lock him up and he doesn't play at that level though. But this is a game the Pelicans feel like they should win. They're really hot right now, but they are coming off of a back-to-back, and that was an overtime game, so that's definitely something to watch out for. Hopefully the Pelicans can put this game out of hand early so their bench can come in and get some minutes, and some of our young guys can contribute and get some valuable playing time in the NBA. Because after an overtime game versus a playoff caliber team, you don't want to be in another dogfight the next night. But Jason Tatum does steal the inbound pass and fly in for the two-handed flush, able to turn good defense into easy offense. But Zion does find Pat Beverly spotting up from beyond the arc, knocking down a 3, and we have a pretty good start to this game. And Bol closes out in the corner so effectively using his length. Denzel Valentine thought he had a retaliation right there, but Bol made sure that did not happen and sent that one a couple of rows into the stands, and then came down on offense on the other end and got a bucket. So that's exactly what we want to see from Bol. And then Marcus Smart does provide more offense for the Pelicans, crossing over into the lane, gets the foul call as the layup goes down, but cannot convert the and one at the line. And here he is cutting to the basket again for another easy bucket, going baseline. The Pelicans take the lead by 10. Wendell Carter Jr. going to kick this one over to the wing to Hachimura. Going to knock that one down, long range 2. So he cuts it back to single digits, and we push it right back to double digits. Darius Garland gets the and one call. He'll be going to the line, and we don't see enough of him, but we are bringing him along slowly. Pat Beverly is our starter for defensive purposes, and then from a general leadership / experience / IQ standpoint, you definitely want to have Pat Bev in the starting lineup, especially the type of player he is defensively. You want him to be that irritant for the starting point guard and possibly keep them from starting out in rhythm. So that's the purpose for him starting. And then Darius Garland, he provides a pretty nice spark off of the bench. But Bol just had a pretty dominant stretch. He scored 6 really quick points, and the Pelicans are now up 13. Darius Garland is going to find Christian Wood, having the vision to find his teammate back down court before the defense got back, and Christian Wood does the rest. But a couple of possessions later, Drew Holiday is crossing over on the defense of Zach LaVine, gets by him for an easy layup. Rui Hachimura out of Gonzaga is in transition for the Bulls, gets an easy lay-in. He's hot right now, but we have not seen much of Derrick Rose, so that's a good sign. That means we're playing good defense on him. But here's Rui again, getting by the defense of Jahlil Okafor for another layup, and they have cut it to under 10, and they cut it down even shorter. We call a timeout. Lauri Markkanen doing the dirty work in the paint for the Bulls, and the Pelicans are now only leading by 7, but we do get a basket. Nice dish by Zion Williamson to Pat Beverly, who had a nice cut, and Lauri Markkanen again getting another basket. But there, finally, Derrick Rose getting involved in the offense after the crossover on Pat Beverly. But Pat Beverly is spotting up from 3 on the other end and pushes our lead back up to 10, and that's exactly what we signed him for, along with defense. But the up fake from Zion Williamson gets Denzel Valentine out of position and moves him out of the way for the flush. And Zion Williamson, we love when he gets slams, and hopefully he can get another one here in transition. He's trailing, and you know what happened next. He threw down the reversed alley-oop after the steal from Jason Tatum, gets the break started, and you see Zion trailing, and you know what's coming next. Like I said, he went up, threw down the reverse two-handed flush. This is going to be a fun season, New Orleans fans. And Zion Williamson throws down another highlight dunk for the Pelicans. And Jahlil Okafor, he's cold right now, but hits Wendell Carter with the Euro and gets the basket. Nice play from him. Breaks the ice for him, and hopefully he can get going. But we are getting close to halftime, and Christian Wood knocks down a 3 to push our lead to 17 as the shot clock expires, and we go to halftime with a score of 63-46. And the Pelicans are playing very well right now. This is where the depth that I talked about earlier comes into play. No one player is dominating. There are contributions across the board. We have a couple of threes from Pat Beverly. Bol had a nice stretch there. Jason Tatum has 8 points. Zion Williamson has a couple of highlight plays, as well as some assists to go along with that. And then we have bench contributions from Darius Garland and Christian Wood. So like I said, a pretty even contribution across the board. No one player is dominating, but Jahlil Okafor adds to his point total as he throws down the tomahawk slam. But Wendell Carter Jr. responds and cuts our lead down to 15. And Jason Tatum off the vert is going to throw this one down over the head of Denzel Valentine. And I believe I mentioned earlier how Otto Porter being out definitely would be an advantage for the Pelicans. But they still have Zach LaVine healthy. He gets an and one. And as you can see in the corner, he knocks down the shot at the free throw line. But disrespectful defense by the Bulls, leaving rookie Darius Garland wide open from range. And he sinks the three-point shot. Derrick Rose dishes one to Wendell Carter Jr., and he seems to be a focal point of the Bulls' plans here as they're going to him. They're trying to get him looks in the post quite a bit here, even against the taller defender in Bol, but defense leads to offense as Darius Garland gets the steal, then finds Jason Tatum on the break for the tough layup over the defense, and Darius Garland gets an easy layup after the ball was poked away. Definitely some luck involved with that play, and sometimes things are just going your way, and Marcus Smart confirms that as he knocks down a 3 right there. But we are still only leading by 17, but oh my goodness, Zion Williamson catches another body here at the Smoothie King Center, and this time it's Wendell Carter Jr. Don't worry, you'll see it again. He can't convert the and one though, but throws down the powerful tomahawk after a defensive mishap there. Miscommunication, wide open lane for Zion equals a poster for Wendell Carter Jr. And take another look. Let's just take one more. And foul. I mean, wasn't a crazy poster. He was kind of coming from the side, but still went up there, tried it, and got dunked on. Zion Williamson, definitely another highlight play to add to his resume here early in his NBA career. But those highlight plays mean significantly less if we do not walk out of here with a W. So we still have a job to do. We have to finish out this quarter in a strong way so we can take a lead into the fourth quarter and then hopefully cruise to the finish line. But Christian Wood is putting together a nice stretch here. Like I said earlier, everyone is contributing here, but Derrick Rose has been pretty much on lockdown, but he's getting baskets here and there. Gets one over the defense of Drew Holiday. Then he finds Denzel Valentine from deep, gets the assist there, and Bol retaliates with a step back three of his own, assisted by Darius Garland. And then another one for Zion Williamson in transition. Great vision by Darius Garland again, finding Zion before the defense got back, and Zion's going baseline this time for an easy two-handed flush, but Zach LaVine crosses Marcus Smart right into the screen as he pulls up from mid-range and knocks down the shot, and another mid-range shot will fall for Zach LaVine, and he's trying to bring this team back, but Jason Tatum definitely has something to say about that, as the screen created an easy lane to the basket for him, and he takes full advantage, finishing the play with a dunk. But Denzel Valentine retaliates with another three-point shot, and after this long two from Zach LaVine, we only lead by 7. But like I said, Jason Tatum is there to combat every shot that Zach LaVine makes, and here he is again knocking down a 3, then another mid-range shot for him. But we are now only leading by 5. Jason Tatum lining up for another 3 and knocks it down. And that might be the dagger. If that wasn't, this is. Pat Bev from the corner pushes our lead up to 11. We will win this game after the Pelicans caught fire from deep in the final 3 or 4 minutes of that game and closed out the Bulls here at home by a final score of 130 to 119. And this is a high scoring Pelicans team this season. I keep mentioning the depth that they have, the players they have on the bench. There are a lot of guys that we just have waiting in the wings to get minutes. There's a guy by the name of Etuan Moore that doesn't even crack the lineup right now, and if you're a Pelicans fan, you know how effective he can be, but that's besides the point. The Pelicans finish off this team and move on to 10-2, while the Chicago Bulls on the other hand fall to 2-12, and they almost took this game back from the Pelicans in the fourth quarter. There was almost a meltdown, but Jason Tatum was there to make sure the Pelicans did not drop this game. He was 12 for 15 with 27 points in this one, and I mentioned throughout the entire video that the Pelicans had good contributions across the board. They had 8 players in double figures: Jahlil Okafor, Marcus Smart, Christian Wood, Darius Garland, Bol, Zion Williamson, who also finished with his first career triple-double, going 17, 12, and 10. But a very interesting fact about those stats that I just talked about, out of the 8 players who scored double figures, Drew Holiday was not one of them. So definitely an odd game for him. Everybody else pretty much pulled their weight, and I don't feel like he was really needed in this game. Like I said before, the Pelicans felt like they should have won this game. And like I said, they almost dropped it, though. They were outscored in the fourth quarter. Defensively, we weren't able to do anything with Zach LaVine, but Derrick Rose only scored 15 points. But he was 7 for 10, though. Just didn't get enough looks, it seemed like, but did have 8 assists on the night as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Definitely leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. In the next episode, we'll play against the Atlanta Hawks. They have RJ Barrett, DeMarcus Cousins now as well. So this is going to be a crazy team. I can't wait to show you guys that gameplay, and I'll see you guys in that next episode. Peace.